If your pipeline feels like it's drying up, or you're getting leads but you're stuck under $500,000 a year, it's actually not your effort, it's your systems. I've closed nearly $1 billion worth of commercial real estate transactions, and I've coached over 1,000 agents nationwide. And what I've seen again and again and again is that there are 6 clear warning signs that your lead generation is broken. And if you don't fix them, you'll stay trapped in the grind no matter how hard you work. So the first sign is lack of pipeline, which basically means is like, hey, you don't have enough opportunities right now in your pipeline. It feels like, hey, like I'm not generating enough leads right now and my pipeline feels dry, it feels slow. There's just not a lot going on in my business. When you feel like you don't know where your next paycheck is coming from, you're just wondering like, hey, like where's my next deal? That's exactly what a lack of a pipeline feels like and is, right? This is an exact reason of why you might need to change, right? Big number 1, lack of pipeline. You don't know where your next deal is coming from. Number 2 is not lead generating every day. If you're not lead generating every single day, that's a problem, right? Especially if you look at your bank account and you get terrified or pissed off, right? Or maybe you can't even open up your bank app. If that is you and you're not lead generating every single day, that's a huge problem. Every single day, you should be on the phones generating a new lead, minimally 1 new lead every single day, or you're gonna feel lack of a pipeline. The next one, I see this all the freaking time, which is just kind of laughable at this point, but I'm gonna tell you right now, people who are reliant / dependent on other brokers' deals. This is a major red flag. If you guys are reliant on or dependent on other brokers or wholesalers for your deals so that you can sell them, you're probably not in the right business. You need to be direct to the client, which obviously comes back to not lead generating every day. Like they're building off of each other here, okay? Because if you're reliant or dependent on other brokers, that means you're not lead generating and you're gonna have, that means you have a lack of a pipeline. You're like, oh, where's my next deal coming from? Hey, Bob, do you have any new deals? Because I need a new deal. That cannot be you. And the way our philosophy is on my team is that we are direct to seller and we are direct to buyer on 100% of our transactions. The only time I will ever allow for another broker to be involved on a deal where we pay somebody out is in the instance where they, like we have exhausted every option to try to sell a deal, okay? We have a deal. We've tried to sell it to our VIPs. We've pitched it out multiple times, like over a dozen times we've pitched it out via email blasts and to hundreds of people individually. I'm saying over a dozen email blasts, and we've pitched it out to at least 50 to 100 people individually, and we still cannot sell it. I'll say like, hey, look, if someone has a random buyer and they like, you know, their buyer is a perfect person for the deal, of course I don't mind because we've exhausted every single other strategy possible to try to sell the deal. Okay, we've called up a bunch of people in the marketplace. We've done everything and we still can't sell it. Fine. The 1% of the time I will possibly work with somebody else, but I don't need to work with other people when it comes to their buyers. I have plenty of buyers. If you have a great deal, I have no problem trying to do a deal together, but most of the time the deals that most other people have suck, right? And they're struggling to sell crappy deals, right? Which we'll talk about later in this video. But this is a huge problem. Do not be reliant or dependent on other people for your deals. Another way you can tell that your lead generation is lacking is if you're closing less than 1 to 2 deals per quarter. So number 4 is closing less than 1 to 2 deals per quarter. If you're closing less than 1 to 2 deals per quarter, you probably have a lead generation problem. Because most of the time, if you have a sufficient pipeline, a fat pipeline, you're probably gonna be closing a deal a month. I'm not saying mega deals. I'm just saying a deal. And a lot of the people who do very high price points are not closing a deal a month. Again, I'm working on a deal. I'm negotiating a deal for over $3 billion right now. That deal, as an example, we don't close a lot of very large transactions. We do a lot of deals between $2 million and $20 million. And we do a ton of them. That's how we make a lot of money. Yeah, every now and again, maybe once a year, we might have a $1 billion transaction close, right? Which I've never had yet, but I'm saying like we're working on a lot of stuff like that. Once a year, we might have something like that that comes across our plate even, okay? The majority of deals are gonna be between, for most people, are gonna be like 500K to 10 million. That's a very healthy price range. And if you can stay close to like really the 2 to 5, 2 to 6 million range on average sales prices, you're gonna make lots of money. And if you just do 1 to 2 deals every quarter, maybe 6 to 8 deals a year at like a $3 million average price point. Think about the numbers. 6 deals at $3 million at 6% commission, right? Or 5% commission even. It's 150 grand times 6. You know how much that is? That's $900,000, right? You made 900 grand closing 6 deals a year. If you're not in this minimum range of closing 1 to 2 deals a month minimum, it's because you're not lead generating every single day. You have a lead gen problem and you have to fix it. You can't be relying on other people. You have to do your own lead generation. You have to go after your own deals, generate your own opportunities so that you can generate more closings, okay? Because most people who want to make $1 million a year, you're closing more than 6 deals a year, okay? You just are. You're closing more than 8 deals a year. You're probably closing at least a deal a month. If you're closing less than this, right, you're probably struggling right now financially, and you're probably struggling to close, any type of commercial real estate deals, okay? The people who are doing more than 1 or 2 deals quarterly, these people are making hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars consistently because they have a good lead generation strategy. The next point is actually, we're going to pinpoint this to a dollar amount. If you're making less than $300,000 a year in gross commissionable income, you probably have a lead generation problem. Because again, this is before broker splits, this is before tax. I don't know how you live. Okay, it makes no sense to me. You don't want to just survive, you want to thrive. You need to be making more than $300K a year. This is not just some BS thing. Guys, most brokerages, you're making 50-50. So if you're making 50-50 on $300K in GCI before taxes, that means you're making maybe 100 grand a year. Anywhere in the country, I don't know how you live on 100 grand a year, right? I'm not talking about netting 300K a year, but most of the time if you're doing 300 in GCI, you're not netting 300. That's just not the case. Majority of the time, you're netting like 100, 150K after everything. If you're making 300K a year in GCI or less, you have a lead generation problem. You're not generating enough leads. You're probably not consistent. You probably have a weak pipeline. You're probably dependent on other people for your deals. You're probably closing less than 1 to 2 deals per quarter. It's easy, simplistic math. If you're doing all that, you're just not consistent enough and you have a lead generation problem and you need to fix it fast. Last sign, very, very simplistic. This is an easy, simple one to tell you that like, hey, maybe you might have to do a little bit more lead generation. You need to like tighten up your skills a little bit. Here you go. Number 6, you don't feel like you have enough good deals to pitch out to buyers. A lot of people feel this way. Number 6 is really a crucial one, guys. If you feel like you don't have enough good deals to pitch out to buyers because you have a weak pipeline, because you're not lead generating enough, is one of the biggest signs you're not doing enough lead generation. And what happens is this: leads do not equal good deals. Just because you have a lot of leads doesn't mean you have a lot of good deals. That's just not how it works. Like, these have nothing to do with each other. A lead can be a bad deal, it can be a good deal. It has nothing, there's no bearing on it, right? Like, just because you have maybe a lot of leads doesn't mean you have a lot of good deals. There's actually a very less than 10% of all leads generated are decent deals. Not just good deals or great deals. I'm talking about decent deals. You're not generating enough leads. Like, this is why I say minimally, every single person, right? You need to be generating minimally 40 seller leads a month at an absolute minimum. If you're not generating 40 seller leads a month, guys, I just said that 10% or so are even decent. That means you have 4 opportunities a month to make money. This is at a bare minimum, which will help you close more than 300K a year, right? Like, all of our coaching is the first thing we're doing is like, how do we get you to 40 minimum seller leads a month? It's the first thing we work on. Because if you do just 40 minimum seller leads a month, you will close more than 300K in GCI because you have 4 opportunities each and every single month. That's 48 a year. They're closable deals. I always talk about a clear path to a closing. You're gonna have minimally 48 opportunities to a closing. That 48, you're probably gonna close on a decent amount of them. And if you have a minimally $3 million average sales price, which you should be prospecting in better areas. If you have an average sales price of 300 grand, stop selling real estate or go to a better area with a better price point. If you have a $3 million average sales price, decent area, $3 million, 5% commission, you close on like 10% of those deals. That's 4 deals at $3 million, 5% commission average. That's $600,000 a year. You'll make plenty of money. Just generate 40 seller leads a month. Do not make any one of these crucial mistakes. Guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you have any questions or anything else, obviously drop in the comment section down below. We respond to every single comment. If you enjoyed it, give it a thumbs up, like, and subscribe. I appreciate you, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care, everybody. Peace out.